it looked like it was filled up, so I didn't want to like. I didn't want to shove it all.
Okay. All right. Bring your own stick, I guess. You're okay.
Detention stations, they're coming.
Good afternoon. How are you guys? My mic's already, I see.
Give me 2 seconds. Let me call my station real quick.
It's alright, we got a minute.
What you guys doing?
You guys got me right in the sun, huh?
Oh, we could have had you looking right into this.
Ah,
We got you looking this way a little bit.
thank you. Thanks for looking out. Good looking out there. Good looking out. Can you guys get those buses to stop for us? Just hold, stop traffic. Hold traffic. There you go. Yeah.
We got a whole Sky Harbor too.
Turn this on silent. Did you hit your phones?
Yep.
Radio?
Yeah, so I have been no conversation.
Sarge, we're not waiting on anybody, are we? Okay. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully everyone's ready. Thank you guys for being here. We just want to take a moment and give some updates and some further information regarding the incident that happened yesterday. So I'm going to go through a couple of things and give a short recap, give you a portion of our investigation, and provide some further detail. So as you know, yesterday around 1 p.m., Tempe Police Department responded out to the parking lot of IKEA in reports of a shooting. Officers got on scene. They did locate an adult male victim with a gunshot wound. Officers immediately started life-saving measures, but unfortunately that victim was pronounced deceased a short time later at the hospital. The victim in this incident has been identified as 21-year-old Chris McCrimmon. So I'm going to give you a little background regarding this investigation. Tempe Police sent out what's called a PSAP, an alert for surrounding law enforcement agencies. We were able to gather some information on scene regarding this possible suspect vehicle. We put that information out. A short time later, we got advised by the Gila River Police Department that they had located that vehicle, and in conjunction with Maricopa PD, they were able to stop that vehicle and detain 2 suspects inside. We can confirm that Tempe Police detectives have arrested 2 suspects involved in this incident. First suspect is identified as 18-year-old Isaiah Williams and 17-year-old Sharif Woods. Now keep in mind, we're only about 24 hours into this investigation, but I'm going to provide you a little more details. Evidence was located that it's believed to be involved in this incident. I'm not going to get into details in terms of what we've identified, but I can tell you we've identified some evidence involved in this incident. So detectives have learned that the victim and the suspects had planned to meet, and the meet was to conduct a drug transaction. That's what we believe occurred. Again, so during that transaction, some sort of altercation occurred. We don't know specifics. Again, this is an ongoing investigation. We continue to look into this, but we can tell you some sort of altercation occurred what led to the shooting. So I want to take a moment and speak to our Tempe community. You know, I grew up here in Tempe. I had several family members and friends sending text messages and calling about this incident. It affects a lot of people in our community. A lot of people go to Tempe, they come to visit and shop. And as you know, IKEA, that whole shopping area there is a desirable place for people to come and shop. We want to make sure that our community understands that it is a safe place. This was an isolated, targeted incident with these individuals. This was not something that people should feel unsafe about traveling to the IKEA, shopping area. Oftentimes you hear, we encourage people to go to public places. If you go to buy something online, we encourage people to go to that public place and conduct that transaction. Custodial exchanges. This transaction just happened to be, have a criminal element to it. So, it's not uncommon for people to meet in a public place, but unfortunately, again, this had a criminal element to it. We'd like to thank all of our businesses in the surrounding areas. All the businesses, IKEA, Mattress Firm, Texas Roadhouse, they played a critical role in helping us in this investigation. Continue to support us. We were out there for several hours. We know that several of their businesses were impacted by this incident. So we want to thank them for their support, their assistance, and really we want to take our time to send our condolences to the family of the victim is really what we want to think about right now. So if anyone has any questions, we'll take a few questions. Again, this is an ongoing investigation, so there's several things that I may not be able to answer. I know you guys are probably going to ask for the charges for the two suspects. Give those to you. So both suspects were charged with first-degree murder and aggravated robbery. Make sure we that
I'll sign your request.
What's up?
I'll sign your request. Thank you. How you doing today?
Good, how are you? Try not to go too far and pull that off there for you.
Yeah, I know you won't. Thank you.
Again, when we talk about the witnesses that were on scene, this is really what community and community policing is about. People coming forward, people assisting our officers on scene, local businesses helping. Without the assistance of the businesses and the witnesses, obviously these are challenging cases. We're grateful for everyone that stayed by and helped our officers and stayed with that victim until we could get there to render aid. This time I'll take a few questions if anyone has any.
There's been recent drug busts in big box stores. Just what parking lots? Just what about these locations make it desirable for drug deals and stuff like that?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we encourage people to conduct transactions in public. This was the middle of the day. I think for this area specifically, it's right off the freeway. In the middle of a Monday afternoon, there's probably lots of open space. It's probably not the most busy time of day in terms of population, so it makes it sort of an easy area. Again, we have several officers that patrol those areas, several officers that will go in near the businesses there to write reports. So we have a pretty intense, I won't say intense, but we have a good presence in the area. So I know, again, it's cause for concern with residents. So we want to make sure that we alleviate any concern and let people know that this really was an isolated, targeted incident.
When you talk about this being a possible drug deal gone wrong, what kind of drugs can you share information? What kind of narcotics were trying to deal?
Yeah, this exchange involved marijuana transaction.
Were both the suspects that are arrested, are they both accused of shooting the victim? And then how many times was the victim shot?
Yeah, I can't get into specifics in terms of the role each played because that's going to be a part of the investigation. I don't have the information in front of me in terms of how many times the victim was shot, but what I can tell you, it's obviously fatal.
I know you probably said this before, but we just came late, so I just wanted to get from the beginning. I know you said it's an ongoing investigation. What's new today? What can you tell us?
So we identified the victim in this incident. And I can share that with you offline a little bit so I don't have to go over it. But we also identified the 2 suspects involved. And again, this involves a drug transaction. Unfortunately, we're seeing these too often. And again, I can't stress enough how critical it was for the local businesses and witnesses to help us. I mean, that's ultimately, this is really what community policing is about. There's several people that go there. I mean, I'm sure many of your families go to IKEA or any of the surrounding businesses, and we just want to make sure that people feel safe. And a part of that is working together, and we will continue to be committed to that.
Was the victim trying to buy or sell the drugs?
We believe that the suspect and the victim knew each other. I can't get into specifics on who was involved in what piece of that transaction, but again, it was a drug transaction.
Can you talk a little bit more about how was it a traffic stop up on the Indian reservation, or was it parked, and how did that come about from them spotting the vehicle and arresting these 2 suspects? Yeah, so when we put information out to surrounding agencies, we're able to do that, fairly quickly. Thankfully, we had suspect vehicle information that we could send out to all the surrounding agencies. And so when we send that out, we were advised by Gila River that they were behind the vehicle they believed to be involved. And so with assistance from Maricopa PD, they were able to make that vehicle stop and safely take those suspects into custody at that point. There was no chase, nothing like that. It wasn't.
No.
Do you have the suspects have a criminal record?
I can't get into specifics in terms of their criminal record. I don't have that information in front of me. I believe we've had some contact with at least one of the suspects here in Tempe, but I don't know specifics in terms of criminal history.
And, you think of marijuana, people, stealing. You can just go to the store and buy some marijuana. So why would people even think about doing this?
You would think that would be something that would be a lot easier, but there's still a criminal element, right? There's a black market for marijuana sales, so I think we're going to continue to see that, and we are just going to continue to battle it as law enforcement.
Is the increase of marijuana sales, on the street down because we have all these stores that we can actually any of us can go in and buy it?
I don't know specifics in terms of statistics. I can tell you that there's clearly a market for, illicit and illegal drug sales. I mean, I think everybody knows that. We'll continue to see that. Every day we are taking a number of large quantities of drugs off the street, whether it's marijuana, fentanyl, methamphetamines. We will continue to do that, and unfortunately, someone had to lose their life due to this incident. So right now, again, we want to think of the family and friends that are mourning the loss of our victim. And again, this is going to be an ongoing investigation, so I'm sure that we will learn more as we continue to work through this. Yes, my name, Detective Natalie Barella, Natalie, last of Barela. You good? Okay, thank you guys. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Hold on, I'll come up.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I can fill you guys in some details that you guys missed.
Okay. Well, so